Hey guys, Joe here, Canyon Ferry Custom Tackle. It's bright and early out here at Fort Peck. It's probably about it's probably 10 degrees or less. We just came out. We're gonna kind of do a little demonstration of the spool that we've created. So we came out. We use this board. These just homemade boards with a little piece of rubber to cover the hole. But even with that, with it being this cold and out all night, get a little layer of ice. And, so I'm gonna chip this out. I'm kind of gonna show you why we've chosen to modify the spools. This is old granddad, one of Joe's original tip-ups, and if you got one of these, hold on to it. They're fantastic machines. They're really well made. Just a great tip-up. So let me go ahead and break this thing out of here. All right, I'm not going to break the whole thing open, but so here we have the old original spool. It's been modified. This is one of our original modifications where we just put a little bit extra line on the or a little bit of extra tubing around the spool to make it bigger. And then this is another manufacturer who made these, which are really good, a little fragile, but it gives you a handle. So one of the biggest problems, besides having to get a full spool, is it doesn't have a handle, and then when you have all that extra line to get the full spool performance, when you pull up the tip up, you end up having all this big pile of line on the ice. If you have shards or anything here, you're going to step on this line, maybe damage it. It's going to get tangled up if you're fighting a fish on these chunks of ice that are real solid on here, and you're going to have all sorts of problems. So what we've done is this one's been modified already, so there's a lot less line, but if we had the original design and had that much line on there, we'd have an extra 30 or 40 yards of line sitting here, which clearly can create a problem. So let me put that down. We'll get this guy back out in a few minutes fishing. So we go to the final product here that we produced. So this is one of the newer beaver dams. Let me tighten that up. So obviously it comes with a handle. This is on one of the previous generations where it has the nut on the bottom, so you can modify it. You just drill the hole through and attach it just like you would the original beaver dam. So it looks like, see, you got the full spool going here, but it's only about 50 feet of line on it to get the whole spool. So same deal, where you spin off, you're ready to put the line back on, and it goes right back on. And you got the handle, it goes right on like nothing, and you'll get it's a lot less time hunched over doing this and re-spooling tip-ups, a lot more time fishing. Okay. Hey, one more thing we just thought of while we're freezing our butts off out here, checking the lines. Something I didn't mention, one of the biggest reasons we shorten up these lines to about 50 feet is we're on a really nice little ridge here. It's been very productive for us. And you can see we've got a tip-up over there, and they're stretched out along the ridge. So when we only put 50 feet of line on, it does several things for us. For one thing, we're only fishing in 20 feet of water maybe, so you don't need all that extra line. So what it does, if you catch a pike or a bigger walleye that'll run you out, you have a lot less chance of that thing going out 100 yards and getting tangled up on some snag on the bottom. The other thing is that you guys have probably all had this. You have a good spot, you put your tip-ups close together, and a pike or a bigger walleye will go out and it'll run around the other tip up, and you get all tangled up under the ice, which is obviously not a good situation either. So, and then the final thing I kind of touched on a little earlier was that you end up with all that extra line on the ice, the wind's blowing, and you get these hard frozen pieces, all over the place. That line gets twisted all over the place. In the dark, it's a pain in the neck to get it untangled, and it's just a whole nother chore. So bottom line is, in my opinion, you don't need, if you're fishing normal walleye territory, you don't need 100 yards of line. You need about 50 feet of line. So that's what we're getting at with this. So thanks again.